Hello everyone, welcome to Ecology. In this video, I will go over where things are in Canvas and syllabus. So this is what your home page looks like. So these are some things you'll see. You'll see the announcements on top, then you have the orientation module. So when you click on the orientation module, it has a bunch of tabs. So don't just go over the first one, go through all of them. So once you go through that, it kind of tells you if you need some tech support, where to contact, what student resources are available, and how to be successful in the online course and how you can contact me. Best way to contact me is through Canvas. Send me an email to the Canvas inbox here, and then I'll get back to you within 24 to 48 hours. So let's go back to the home page. So once you go back, you have another page here that has more tabs. So once you click on that, you'll go through that. And so that's your orientation module. That's where this video will be as well. And then once you do that, then you have the course layout, welcome, and this is the course description. These are the topics we'll be covering in the course. These are the student learning outcomes. These are the course layout, this kind of overview, and here's your syllabus. So once you click here, you can get the full page. So this is your syllabus for the course. I will have office hours from 1 to 2 p.m. on Tuesdays over Zoom. The link, I'll also leave the link in the syllabus actually. So after I finish the video, I'll put the link here as well. And then I'll also put it on Canvas. So if you want to meet me on a different time and day, just email me. We can set up something or using Canvas inbox. If you can't make it to these hours, uh, we can just meet at a different time. Include some times when you're available, and then I'll get back to you. So like I said, Canvas app is the best way to reach me individually and to reach the class as well. I try to answer within 24 hours. So if you're asking for help, it's a strength, you're not bothering me by asking, so feel free to email me. There's a question form on discussion form or Canvas. So when you go on discussions, there is this Q&A. So you can also put your questions here, and then your classmates can answer or I can answer. So I respond to all the emails, messages within 48 hours, Monday through Friday, except for the school holidays. And here's the course description again, and the student learning outcomes. So you can kind of read through that on your own. Canvas course technology. So you'll need a computer to access Canvas. Obviously, this is an online course. You'll need internet for the same reason. We are using the textbook that's called Environment, the Science Behind the Scenes, 7th edition. But I want to mention that you do need Pearson course access. And once you buy that, you do have e-textbook that's provided through the Pearson access for free. You don't have to buy that separately. But if you want to purchase a hard copy, that's up to you. It's the optional for, so it's not required for you to have a hard copy. Now, this is very, very important. So I'm gonna go over this after because all your homework and some assignments are through Pearson, and you will need access to Pearson to complete those. You'll also need a Respondus Lockdown browser to take the exams. How to get this? You're gonna click this link right here and you'll download it. Once you have downloaded it, on the exam day, you're gonna open the browser. You're gonna log into the Canvas through the browser and take the exam. And if you need help with tech, you can call this number um, for technical help. I cannot help with technical issues, so you will need to contact them. So if you're having trouble navigating the course, you don't know where to find something, I can help with that. But I cannot help you with password resets. I cannot help you if your computer is not working. I cannot help you if, you're having some other technical issues. Um, this is your grade breakdown. Lecture homework is worth 20%. That through Pearson. Exams are worth 25%. You'll use your Respondus browser to take those. Discussion set assignments, some hands-on assignments that are worth 20%. Those are in Canvas. And then the lectures are worth 35%. So you cannot pass this class without watching the lectures. Lecture videos, they have these questions popping up. When you play the video, at the end of the video or middle of the video, I'll ask you a question. You have to answer the question. You have 2 attempts on each video. You have to submit these by the due date to get credit. This is the grade breakdown. So even if you have 79.9999, it's still a C. You have to have 80% to get a B. So just make sure you're doing everything if you're trying to get a certain grade. Where to find things. So the best thing to actually I'll just show you that on Canvas a little after. So due dates, all each exam represents a unit of study. All assessments, lectures, and resources for the unit close before the exam and will not reopen. So everything, for example, the first module is due on by first Sunday midnight. So these are the exam dates. These are the only dates when the exams will be available to take. So set some time aside to take the exam on these dates. Make sure your respondus is working before, ahead of time. You don't want to spend, you don't want to wait until 5 p.m. to take the exam and then your respondus is not working and tech support is already closed for the day. So you want to start early. You want to make sure your respondus is working maybe a week before or at least a day before. And then you want to take the exam early, not late in case there are issues. You- I also want to cover the late policy and missed exams. So, like I said, exams are scheduled for these days. Mark these days in your calendar. Set some time aside to take the exam on these days. But if you miss the exam, uh, this is the makeup policy. So, you or family member have a medical emergency, you miss the exam, you have to give me the paperwork for the doctor's note, and then I'll give you a makeup exam. And then if you have something coming up, like a surgery or something medical, try to notify me ahead of time if you can, and then send me the documentation. So makeup exams are only given if there's a medical emergency. Otherwise, you have to take the exam on these days. The exam will be open for 24 hours. It opens, let's say, Sunday midnight, and it closes Monday midnight. So within those 24 hours, you have to take the exam. So late policy, like I said, you'll be spending most of your time on the lectures, and lectures have points associated with them. You have to submit those by due date. If you cannot, like, let's say something happens that you cannot submit it by the due date, the lecture will not close. It'll still stay open, but there will be 10% each day that it's late, it's gonna take off 10%. So let's say sometime you're gonna get full credit. It's 1 day late, you're gonna get 90% of the points. 2 day late, 80%. 3 day, 70%, and so on. So I don't close them. They'll stay open, but there is a late penalty for the assignments. Discussion assignments will close on the due date. And the reason for that is because everybody needs to participate on those in those on time in order to kind of build a community. Also, I want you to know if I haven't graded something, Canvas might just put in a 0 So I you have to op select the accurate determination of your grade. I cannot do that for you. So if once I grade the assignment, then it'll be updated. But if you have missed or incomplete assignments, then it'll obviously give you a 0. Each chapter has homework, and the homework is posted on Canvas, but the homework is through Pearson. So you're gonna complete the homework on Pearson, and then it'll automatically take your grade and put it on Canvas. It might take a couple hours to do that, so just give it some time to update. And then you have to complete the reading for the chapter. So as you read the chapter, you can complete the homework. It's directly from the chapter. Your exams are open notes. So as you watch the lecture videos, take notes that you want to use for your exams. So, in case you're having a hard time with the topic, write down some notes on that. Just go back to Canvas. Let me show you a couple things. So first thing I want to show you is the Pearson. You will need access to Pearson. So what you want to do, you want to click Access Pearson on Canvas. And then you want to say Open Pearson. And once you open it, because I'm already logged in, already have signed up for it, it's showing me that. But if you don't have an account, you have to create an account, and then it'll take you to our course page. So this is something that you need, first week of the course. These are the discussions. So you're gonna participate in discussions. Other than that, let's go back to modules. So I have this module that says exams. I'm gonna keep all your exams in this module. And this is your first week's module. So this is your first discussion meet and greet. And it says due by January 18th. That's a Sunday. So it's the first day of semester. You have 1 week to complete the assignments in the first module. So this whole module is due by January 18th, which is a Sunday. Your next module is open on the Friday, and then you can work on that. So sometimes I try to put in some pages. So what you'll be doing, you'll be watching videos, participating in discussions, and doing homework and some assignments. So let's say this video says Eternal Pack of Wolves Restoration on Isle Royal. So you're gonna click on it, and it's gonna say it's worth 5 points. You have 2 attempts to do it. Once you click play, it's gonna start playing, and then the questions will pop up either at the end of the video or middle, wherever they're supposed to. So once you do that, you get the 5 points. And going back, you will not be able to skip through the video or fast forward it because the tool that we are using in Canvas doesn't allow you to do that. And then I sometimes I put in some pages. You can read through them if it's helpful. So the process of science, the scientific method, that's what the next video is on. So I try to put in some pages if I find them helpful. So once you complete all the videos, then you have your chapter homework. So make sure you read the chapter before you do the homework. You can view your grades here. You can view your announcements here. Oh, what is the best way to find the assignments? For me, I like looking at the calendar. So calendar tells me when something is due. So let's see, our semester starts on the 12th, which is right here. Your first module is due on the 18th. So that's when everything is due. Oh, I also want to tell you that homework is due by 9 p.m. here. Everything else is due by midnight. So I think the reason is because this is through Pearson. The Pearson due dates are by 9 p.m. on Sunday. And then Canvas, everything in Canvas is due by midnight. But try to always do it ahead of time. So you have a whole week to complete this module. And then I'll open this module on the 16th. And then you have this week to complete this module. So this is the best way to find when the assignments are due. Other places where you can see when the assignments are due is in your to-do list. They're going to start popping up here. Or you can go to assignments tab and you can say show by date. And that's going to show you when something is due. So for example, this is when they're due. Because they're due by 9 p.m. It's showing them on top. Everything else is due by midnight. So that's all I have. Let me know if you guys have any questions.